So this is what the problem is. Where shall I publish? That's always the first question. All right. For young scientists, I think this presentation is mainly for young scientists. I know many of you are very experienced, have published a lot, but it's good to understand what are the issues behind publications. All right. How can I get my paper published, accepted in the journal, in a good journal? Right? Okay. So I'll take you through so that you understand the whole process. Right? So why I am here? Okay. The organizers have invited me to make this presentation. I have been the editor-in-chief for more than 10 years. So I have a lot of experience, right, in publications, receiving manuscripts, screening them, and accepting papers, right? Right, so this is the title given to me, just read to you, okay? But I made it short. This is what short means. Tips for submitting papers to journals. Short and sweet. Always have your title short. Okay, I'll go through with you on the paper as well, title of your paper. Okay, very, very important. Your name, all right? I'm going to introduce myself. That's my name. And that is also my name. All right? And this is also my name. So I have 3 names. Right? So the important message here is standardize your name. People do not know who is M. Shariff, who is this guy, and who is this guy. Looks like they're all different people. So make sure you standardize your name. I made mistakes. I started publications in 1980s, many years ago. So make sure you have your name correct. That's very, very important. Right. So what happens is sometimes students, my students, when they graduate, they go home and then they publish without letting me know, and they use different names. All right. Just an introduction, brief introduction of myself. All right. I did my master's and PhD in Stirling, Scotland. And I joined my university in 1977. Some of you were not born yet. All right. So this is how I introduce myself to people. All right. So coming back to the issue that many of you face, where shall I publish? Right? I'll take you through journal ranking, how journals are ranked, and there are a lot of journals out there making money, and they don't have any ranking. I'll take you through that. So we have 2 main systems of ranking. One is called the site score. Elsevier, your aquaculture journal, and many other journals that they publish, they started site score. Right? And now the other one is impact factor. Right? So the other company, Clarivate, started impact factor. So what's the difference between site score and impact factor? Right? So another ranking is quartile. So I'll take you through all that. Don't worry too much if you're new to this. All right. This is how site score is calculated. You have your total number of citations over the number of documents. That means in that publication, let's say aquaculture, they have published over the last 3 years. Last 3 years, they published, let's say, 200 articles. And how many of them were cited? So this number cited. So this divided by this will give you the cite score. Right? So that's it. So cite score is over 3 years. The difference between impact factor and cite score, that's the difference. The cite score is over 3 years. The impact factor is over 2 years. So there could be slight differences in the results that you get, right? So what is quartile, right? So the top, according to that results, cite score and impact factor, the top 10% journal in that same field, we are all doing fisheries, aquatic sciences. So in that particular field, top 10 journals, Q1. So very simple. Next 20%, Q2. Next 30%, Q3. Anything below 40%, Q4. So most of the universities now, because all universities are competing for world ranking, global ranking. I come from a university with global ranking. They want us to publish in Q1 and Q2 journals. Very important, right? So you can see Q1 and Q2. That means top 10 journals and top 20% journals in that particular field. Not among all journals, but in that particular field. Right? So, I just show you. So, a journal can have Q3, Q4, or Q1, Q2. So, you can see every journal has a wide scope. So, this particular journal, ecology, food science, aquatic sciences, biological, aquaculture, and So you have 3 different scopes, and each has a different quartile. So one journal can have Q1, Q2, but normally they all have one Q1, either Q1 or Q2, but they can be a mixture. Right? Okay. So know your journal. You must know your journal ranking before you submit. If you want a good journal, Q1, know about the journal, right? So there are so many journals out there. How do you look for a good journal? Right? There are a lot of predatory journals out there waiting to make your money from you. Right? Okay. So there you are. You can see the red bar, and they are increasing so fast. That's predatory journals. Right? Predatory journals published, this is not 2014. I couldn't find the latest figure, but in 2014 they published 400,000 papers. Predatory journals are not recognized by many institutions. They would not allow you, or they would not encourage you to publish in predatory journals. Now your CV, if you have listed a predatory journal, the employer wouldn't be happy, or nobody wants to employ you. So be careful. Do not publish in predatory journals. All right. So, how do you recognize a predatory journal? What are the criteria of a predatory journal? They want to make money. They don't care. So the review process is not there sometimes, or it's not a good review process. They don't use experts. They want to save money. Right? So lack of rigorous peer review. Normally, a paper needs to be reviewed at least by 2 world-class experts. Right? in a normal journal. High publication fee, right? And you can see, I just showed you, they publish about 400,000 papers. Now, if they charge you just $100 per paper, see how much money they make, 40 million. If let's say they charge you 400, wow, 160 million, right? See how they make money. So why are there predatory journals? Why? Because opportunity to make money. So they come to make money, right? Oops. Aggressive. They write to you. I get letters every day. Please submit your paper. Almost every day I get letter, right? So aggressive. That's why they want you to publish. Dubious impact factor. I will show you. Poor website. They have a website. I'll show you what it means by poor website. You cannot find who is the editorial board member. You cannot find so much information as you would get from a normal, recognized or renowned journal. Fake editorial board members. They just put up names. I'll show you. Quick acceptance. Within 1 week, your paper can be published. All right? No reputable academic affiliation. They are not associated with the university or with the institution. No, they are independent. You cannot find how they are related to any institutions. They don't have affiliations. So these are the criteria of predatory journal. So here it is, an email sent to me. All right, they say impact factor 5.6. I could not find the journal name in. I'll show you how to check if it's predatory or not. I will show you. I could not find the name of the journal in the system. All right, acceptance within a week. Imagine normally normally 2 months. Normally they take 2 months. 1 month, 2 months. They are busy people. They are renowned scientists. They are busy people. They may have 10 papers on the table to be reviewed. So they take time, right? So here, within 1 week. And here, 24 hours. Wow. You send today 4 o'clock, tomorrow 4 o'clock is accepted. So that's the difference, right? That's why I said they want your money. Okay. All right. If you want to check for the list of predatory journals, below list, I have taken a few just to show you example. What they do, they hijack. I show you here. You see this name here? Andreas Journal. This is the authentic, the original, the true journal. That's the name. They add the word journal at the back. They hijack the name. See, there are others as well. I'm not moving. Okay, you see these lines here? So, Baltica Journal. Here is just Baltica. Blue Jay Journal. Blue Jay Journal. See this how they hijack. Right? They can be actually sued So by the time the legal comes in and so on, it takes very long time. But then they disappear. They've already made the money. Right? So also all the others, you see how this is exactly the same. Aula orientalis, same name. So imagine they copy the name, right? Which is illegal, right? Right. Now let me take you to that. Now I'll show you how to check. It's free of charge, software available. All right. You go to this. All right. I will give you the name in another slide. Okay. It's called Schemagojr, schemagojr.com. The name will appear in another slide. All right. Now we are going to put Baltica. Remember, Baltica is the original. All right. In this software, in this website, he'll give you the what quarterly is it, and also the other ranking. You can even check by country the ranking, by region, by so many other things. You can combine by subject ranking. You can do all that here. Okay, let's take you down here. As you go down, Baltica, click on Baltica. All right. As you go down, you can see the H index there. Who is the publisher? All right, go down. Okay. You see Q3. The journal is Q3, and before it was Q2. It's a very good journal. Q2, Q3 is relatively considered as good journal. If you go down, it will give you additional information. How many documents was the SGR? All those are related somehow to the ranking of the journal. Right? Okay. Now, let's type Baltica journal, the one that is illegal. Baltica journal. All right. Search. Sorry, no results. That means the journal is illegal. And they claim the impact factor is 5.6. Wow. See how brave they are. All right. Okay, let's go on. All right, next slide. Okay, that is it. If you want to copy down, it's free. You can use it. schemagojr for journal.com. And you can type in any name and you scroll down. You will find all the details, all the information regarding the journal. They work together with Scopus or Elsevier. All right. Okay. Let's go on to next one. Okay, I have it here. Sorry. So these are the names I found on that journal that they send me invitation. These are the editorial board name. I couldn't find anybody. They are very smart. They give initials S, I. You wouldn't know what it is. And you cannot find them. Right? Editorial board members. No email contacts. Normally, a good journal will provide you the information, email contact, and their affiliation. This does not have it. Just like that, list of names. And you cannot find, even you go to the website and search, you cannot find the name. So, that was an appetizer for you to look for the right journal. All right. Now, my next section is on how can I get my paper accepted for publication. Right. Now, I used to reject more than 80% of the submissions. Why? So I'll go to take you through that. Okay. So you must know your journal before you submit. Let's say you have decided aquaculture or any of the good journals after you know that they are not predatory journals. Right? Scope. Look at the scope. Whether your paper, your research done, your findings match the scope described for the journal. Okay? It's single or double blind review. What is single and double blind review? I'll take you through that. So, let me take you through the whole process, how a journal operates, that you do not know. This is not written sometimes, but this is how it is. I'll take you through the flow. All right. First, it goes through preliminary screening. The author submits, makes a submission, and it's first screened for scope, for plagiarism. I will take you how they do that, for formatting. They go through all that. And they can reject at this stage. The scope is not, you see, journal, I was operating the Journal of Asian Fisheries Science. I used to get articles on snails. Immediately we reject them. They don't fall into the scope because there are journals specific for gastropods and so on. Why not send it to them? Why send to fisheries, all right? So the scope is very, very important. Then unsubmit. We have to unsubmit many papers. Why? Not right format, all right? Sometimes they combine this particular journal I'm talking about. They need your results, discussion separate. They need a conclusion. All should be separate. Some papers, they send it all combined. So we unsubmit. We give them an opportunity. Please redo your paper and send it back. Some journals do that. Not all journals do that. Right? Then, let's say everything is okay here. The assistant editor will assign it to the editor-in-chief. Right? Why? I'll explain to you. So all that is checked. Reject, all right, and submit. All that at the first stage, screening. All right, it goes to the boss, editor-in-chief. All right. So, editor-in-chief will decide. Again, you see, editor-in-chief is a big boss. He's more experienced than the assistant editor. So he will go through everything again, the scope and everything else. He takes about 3 to 5 days, depending how busy he is. And then, if everything is okay, he assign it back to the assistant editor or associate editor. They will then, okay, that says, okay, they will then send it to the reviewer. Right? And reviewer, as I said, may take 1 to 3 months, depending on how busy they are. Right? So, after that, it comes back to the assistant editor or associate editor. He will then summarize the findings for the editor-in-chief. He has to do a summary. He has to read everything, summarize, and say whether this is major, minor, or reject. Right? Then it goes, at this stage, the EIC, the editor-in-chief again, makes a decision whether to reject, whether to accept. If it's acceptable, whether to make a major change or a minor change. And if it's a major change, he may give 2 months to revise. If it's a minor change, he may give 1 month to revise. All right? So he goes through all that steps. So, more than 80%, good journals, more than 80% get rejected. Right? And if it's a major revision, sometimes it's done twice. You revise, editor-in-chief will send it back to the reviewer to get his opinion. Has he addressed all the issues? Then comes back to the editor-in-chief. The reviewer said, no, I'm not happy with this. Goes back to the author again. So you can see it goes 2 times. Right? Then finally, after all the revisions, the final decision is made in about 10 days or 20 days, depending on how busy the editor-in-chief is. If he's in Bali, holidaying, lying on the beach, it will take longer. So, and then they proceed to make the galley proof if it's accepted. And then it has to be, before the galley proof, the editor-in-chief makes sure the language, the color pattern, the drawings meet international standard. If they don't meet international standard, it goes again to the author. Please enhance this, improve this. That happens. So it's a ding-dong a few times, right? Then galley proof, then publication. It depends how frequent the publication is, quarterly, right? Twice a year or whatever it is, then it's published. So you can see the process takes a long time. Easily 4 months to 6 months. I have handled papers 1 year. Takes 1 year. But that's exceptional cases that takes up to 1 year. Right? All right. So we have a checklist to guide the authors. You have to read the checklist. Right? Author's checklist for submission of manuscript. We have provided them this checklist. I read to you some of them. I know it's very small font. The manuscript meets the scope of the journal, for example, study on taxonomy of aquatic snails, not directly related to fisheries. I just explained to you. So he need not send. So if you don't read this and you submit, you're wasting your time. Right? So what happens normally? This is what they do. The authors. They close their eyes and they just tick, 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 tick. So you have to go through the list carefully. Right? All right. What it meant by double blind, single blind. Right? So in double blind review, author is unaware who is the reviewer. And reviewer does not know who the author is. That's double blind. Right? So both parties do not know. Only the editor knows. Single blind, the author is not aware who the reviewer is, but the reviewer knows who the author is, where the author is from. So some journals, they operate single review. Some journals, they operate double blind, double blind review. All right. Why, you may ask, that we hide the name of the reviewer? Because in some cases, reviewers can be biased. If they know, Kinki University, Japan, I'm from there, never mind, no good paper also accept it. That can happen. People will become biased. I met John, I met Brian at Bali. He's a good friend. Okay, pass. So that's the reason. Biasness. We don't want that to happen. Right? So that's why they have single blind or double blind. All right. So this is a paper. There's the title. There's the authors. There's the affiliation. Many a times we receive like that. The title, the author, the affiliation, all given. Although in our guidelines, we say no. Front page should not have the author's name, should not have the affiliation listed. But they send us like that. See, they don't read. Different journals have different requirements. Right? So, don't list authors' names for blind review. If there's a blind review, don't list authors' names. All right. What do the reviewers look for? Right? Relevance and significance of research. All right. We were sitting here around the table, right, listening to your presentation. Same way. We want to know what's the relevance of this presentation, significance of the research that you're doing. Why did you do this research? All right. Okay. Right. Originality of the research. Somebody in Japan could have done it 20 years ago. I've heard some papers here. Many years ago, they did the same thing somewhere else. That is reinventing the wheel. Journals will not accept that. Just like your newspaper and magazines that sell in the market, they don't publish old news. Nobody will buy it. Want something new. For journal ranking, if they publish old stuff, nobody will read, nobody will cite, and the journal ranking will go down. So journal ranking is important, right? So they don't want to publish anything that is not original, not novel. Suitable research methodology. Of course, your methodology is very important. What methods you use, right? Nowadays, everybody uses PCR. Oh, gone all the old days. You did this test. All that is gone, over, right? So methodology is very important. The benefit of your research findings, contribution to science. That's what I say. Do not reinvent the wheel. Somebody done somewhere many years ago, and you do the same thing. It will not be accepted in a journal. Right? All right. What else do the reviewers look for? Organization of written material. Very important. How you write. Now, this is one of the weak points for Asian writers, because English is not their mother tongue. And they find it very difficult to write, very difficult to express correctly. I have to correct many papers, right? Normally, you should get, if you have the project funding, you should get your paper proofread by companies offering the service. Right? You have to pay some money. Right? So, relevance, appropriateness of graphs, figures, all that they look for. Right? Before it can be published, before it can be accepted. Appropriate title. This is very important. I will go through with you example of appropriate title. Okay. Appropriate abstract. How to write a good abstract. I've seen a lot of the papers here. The abstracts are quite well written. I was happy with that. Yeah. But I'll take you through if I have the time. Soundness, discussion, and analysis. Very important. Sometimes you have a very good study, very good finding, but discussion very shallow, very short. No comparison with other studies and so on. So this discussion should be good. It should be interesting. Should make the reader excited reading your paper. Right? So, paper preparation, good, clear, and concise. Right? They always say, write for the reader, not for yourself. I give you an example here. Very simple example. After taking the drink, I went home. The English is correct. Good. But ask yourself, after taking the drink, what did he drink? I went home. Where did he go home? See? You think it's correct. But the reader doesn't know. He cannot read your mind. Right? So this is a very simple example. See that? Right? After taking coffee, I went to Greenwich. So the difference there. So the reader, you must write for the reader, not for yourself. You know you had a drink, you know you went home, but the reader will not know where, what you drank, where you went. You keep in mind, this is a very simple example. Right? So, as I said, write for the reader, not for yourself. Proofread your work. When I was young, when I newly joined, I was taught, this is how I was taught. Write something, put in your drawer for 1 week. 1 week. Don't look at it. Take it again. Look at it again. You'll be surprised. You do not understand what you wrote. Right? So, proofread your work, right? And I'll tell you how many times you will proofread. You need to proofread, right? Always, I have a lot of students. They always blame the computer. Oh, this computer did wrong, right? They don't want to take the blame. Student will say, yeah, computer. Even imagine some papers that I receive from submissions, spelling is wrong. Come on, nowadays you cannot be careless. Cannot blame the computer for that, right? So check, recheck, edit, rewrite several times before submitting. How many times you should do that? Wow. Let's check with Brian, okay, in this case. How many times do you proofread your paper submission? How many times do you do that? Couple of times, okay, I accept that. All right, let's see a great scientist here, what he says. How many times you should proofread? I couldn't believe it myself. George, you can Google his name. George Whitesides. In an interview told that he would proofread his article at least 15 times. I wouldn't do that, of course. But that's what he claims. And his H index is 286. That means he writes a lot. He publishes a lot. Wow. I worked for more than 40 years. My H index, 31. His H index, 286. He recommends 15 times proofread. I couldn't believe he's saying that. I had to go and listen to his YouTube tape. You go and check YouTube, his tape, and it is there in his interview. He said at least 15 times. You want your paper to be accepted. It should be perfect. I think no one here, I can guarantee you, does that 15 times. Even I do not do 15 times. But that's just to emphasize how meticulous it should be, how thorough you should be before you submit a paper. Right? Let me go on. Carelessness. If you're careless, if I receive a manuscript with all the careless mistakes, I look for the name. Who is this? John. From where? From this university. Next time I receive his paper, I won't accept it. I become biased because he was careless. All right. So you sort of create a bad name. Is branding. Create a bad name for yourself. People get to know you, or you are not a good author. Right? Plagiarism. What exactly is plagiarism? Right? Many papers that I receive, this is the problem. Right? This is how to pronounce it. Plagiarism. Use of other people's words. You copy. Right? Ideas, images, all that without citing, without giving references. I'll show you. So, boleh arrow tu? Boleh tekan sini? This is what plagiarism is. Right? You copy exactly like that. It's wrong. No reference given. It's not your work. Right? You have to insert references. Right? So this is how you should insert your references. At the right place. Who said this? Low protein or low lysine starter diet? And so on and so on. Is Douglas. And whoever it is. For brown egg, it's somebody else. Early growth and so on is somebody else work. So you cite other people's work, you provide references. Right? Now look at this one. Okay, that's the correct way of doing it. Now look at this one. So what he has done here, he's pooled everything down here. That's wrong. Because it's not Douglas who said all this. So you cannot do that. It will be wrong. Right? So you go back and see, Douglas said only for white egg. Alright? For brown egg is somebody else. Right? So you cannot do this. You cannot pool them together. Insert references at the right places. Right? Here, this is how to do it. Right places. Okay. The other issue is, although you have the reference there, here, but you copy everything, will not be accepted. You cannot copy. You have to write it in your own words. Right? So you see, low protein diet, right? You cannot. Same words is not, it's copying. Oops. So you have to say, this is how you have to write in your own language. Data of so and so suggests that in so and so. So you change in your own words what you understand from what you read. Don't pluck and copy. I'll tell you what happens if you pluck. Just cut and paste. Alright? Look, this is going to what happen. We use software to detect plagiarism. So you can see all this in color is copied. You can see, all right, all this in color is copied from other papers without changing. Although he has given references, there's a reference there, there's a reference there, but he did not change. Cut and paste. It's wrong. Here, another one. So you can see almost whole paper is copied and paste. Right? Then we get a summary, the analysis. The software will analyze how many percent was copied. So they said 66% was copied. Right? From where? So they give from the different sources. Copied from here, the red one copied from here, the different colors, all from the different sources. They will provide the sources. So you can see, go back, see they have color, different color. All right, this is from one source, but you can see these different colors here. This green here or light, this is. So they will analyze and tell the editor how many percent similarity index, we call it. So it's cut and paste, right? So anything above, of course, sometimes the methodology, PCR, protein analysis, sometimes there could be similar words. We can accept that. There is a limit of acceptance. Normally we accept up to 20%. Most of the journals can go up to 15, 20, not more than that. And you saw sometimes almost 100%. We'll throw the paper out. Right? So be careful. No copying. You can be detected. Right? All right. How you want your paper to be visible? How many people you want your paper to be read? Right? The paper, the total paper, the title, the abstract, which is important. What they will go for. All right. So this is an analysis. They will go for the title first. Whether the title is interesting. Whether the title draws their attention. Right. Then they will look for the abstract. Whether the abstract is interesting. They won't read the whole paper. Scientists are very busy people. You know. They have so many other things to do. First, they strike the title. Interesting or not. Whether relevant to them, their work or not. Then they will read the abstract. Then, if it's exciting, interesting, they may read the whole paper. Right? So, relative number of views on different sections of the paper. A good title and abstract will lead to more people reading the paper. Right? Title. I told you title is very, very important. So I come to the title. How to write a title? Good title. All right. This is my student, my own student, okay? Investigation of the presence of malachite green residues in lettuce calcarifer and Orochromis purchased from the selected market in Selangor. 20 words. I told her, please go and revise. All right? I could have done it myself, but I want her, this is her, to train her so that she start thinking. Right? If I do everything for her, I'll be spoon feeding her. Right? So, we corrected. We don't need investigation on the presence of. We don't need purchase. Why do you have to say purchase? If it's from the market, of course it's purchased. All right? So eventually, 13 words. From 20 words, we cut 7 words. Malachite green residues in lettuce calcarifer and Orochromis from selected markets in Selangor. Imagine, I was telling you, you have to proofread 15 times. So this is one, just the title. Took us 3 days. Right? So 15 times is correct. Right. So that's just the title. Right. Title should be short. appropriate, informative. Preferably up to 100 characters or 15 words. Try to have within 15 words. 2 lines in print. That's the title. And avoid the use of and, study. These are not relevant. Don't have to say that, on, etc. These are redundant. Many people say study. Yes, of course it's a study. Right? How to write a good abstract. How are we in timing? 15 minutes more, I think. Okay, I will take you through. Short one. I have prepared a very detailed one. I was worried of the time. Let me be short. Okay, how to write a good abstract. Maximum, of course, journals need only 200 or 250 words. It should be concise information of the work and the principal results. Should not contain, you cannot put references in that abstract. Too much data, don't spell out too much, don't provide too much data in there. If it's significantly different, say significantly different. You don't have to provide all the data, right? Meaningless clauses such as the results are discussed, and then you put a full stop and you end your abstract. No. That's useless, of no use to the reader. Remember, you're writing for the reader. Okay. All right, just let me take you through. I have 15 minutes. I think I will jump to slide 72. I actually got how to write abstract, first few lines and so on. Okay, because time is running short and I want to give time for question and answers. Here, what I want to say, the message is always try to excel in whatever you're doing. Remember, write 15 times, proofread 15 times, right? So, be meticulous. Do a good submission. You will get your paper accepted, right? You won't be the one of the 80 rejected, 80%, okay? If you are good, you will be invited as an expert, right? Rohana is here today, Brian is here, all these experts, they're invited, right, to this meeting. Each one of you can be experts if you work hard, right? You'll be at committees, you will be invited to attend societies and so on, functions. You will be going for consultancies and so on. You will be involved in making policies, right? If you're good, if you excel, right? Now, I have a friend who has been to all these countries. 7 times to Casablanca, Morocco, Casablanca, Geneva, Riyadh, all over the world. Why? He knows how to write, he knows how to talk, he knows how to make presentations, right? So you can see he's been to all these places. He gets a business class ticket or first class ticket, right? He goes all over the world, all right? So that's why I said, if you are good, you'll be invited to meetings like that, international meetings with many countries, many ministers present and so on. Right? You can see all the flags of the different countries there. Oops. Sorry, okay. You can see the different countries, different flags, all listening to you. Wow, you are the expert, okay? So, of course, you'll be invited to teach. You are the expert. You know how to do things. You are a good scientist. People will invite you, right? And I think that's Rohana there. He travels a lot. He's going to Zambia next week. He's an expert. He knows how to talk. He knows how to write as well. All right? So that's what I said. you can be an expert. All right? You all came here to learn how to be experts. And I'm teaching you how to be experts. Right? Of course, I also travel a little bit. I also talk to all these people, lawyers, senior government officers, for policy making, awareness, and so on. Okay? And you get to see the world. Wow! This is Victoria Falls. Okay? Zambia. Yeah. And of course, you get to see many countries. All paid for. Right? Rohan does that. Okay? I am Brian, I am not sure. You get to see Safari Park. So you all of you are ambassadors of your country. First thing people ask, you go outside on the street, awak dari mana? Where are you from? Right? So India, or Nepal, or Philippines. So you are ambassadors actually to your country. Right? I'm from there, UPM, right? So actually you are very important people. You are scientists, right? You are experts, right? So you train future leaders, right? You make policies, help the government make policies, right? Accelerate nation building. This is all part of nation building, right? You are an elite group, all of you, right? Very important people. So I always tell my students, no dream is too big. No dream is too big. The sky is the limit. Right? Okay. If possible, write this next to your bed. So when you get up, you read that every morning. Right? Never ever give up. See, in this case, the frog is been eaten by the bird. The frog said, no, I want to survive. I want to live longer. Never give up. Nothing is impossible. Right? You can do it. If Dr. Rohan can do it, Prof. Shariff can do it, Brian can do it, all of you can do it. One thing, very important, is whatever you do, right? Do it with passion. Enjoy doing it. That's very important. Don't take it as a burden. Everything you do, you learn in the process of doing it. You become expert. You have more experience, more exposure. And you can start advising other people. And you'll be invited to conferences and everywhere else. Right? So, terima kasih. Thank you very much.